Do blinkers ruin your vape pen? There is an alarming amount of people that only do blinkers on their vape pen. There's actually an alarming amount of people that only use a vape pen or a cartridge to get high. Like, if you get high every day and every time you go to get high, you reach for a pen, that's almost like eating every day, but you only eat at 7-Eleven. Like, you can do it, but bro, that's what you do? That's what you do? So I've made a few videos about blinkers and why you shouldn't do them, and I've got a number of reasons for why you shouldn't. But one question not a lot of people are asking or considering is, does it ruin your cart? Now, carts are pretty hard to enjoy as they are, you know, even if you're getting a good one, it's still not that great. But doing blinker after blinker absolutely ruins the flavor. There's tons of different cartridge setups and batteries out there, and they all kind of interact differently. But overall, for the most part, getting instant vapor on a vape pen and then choosing to do that as long as the pen will let you allow just ruins the flavor of your oil. And it's super inefficient. Like, you actually blast through your oil. If you commit to doing blinkers every day, what you're saying is, I like hot hits, I like harsh hits, I don't want to get as high as I can, I don't want to get high as many times as I can, and bro, I can't wait to buy a new pen because I just want to burn through this thing. The amount of people that reached out to me and said that the moment they stopped doing blinkers, their pens were lasting 5, 6, 7 times as long and they were getting even higher each sesh is kind of wild to me because they've never even tried it. Bro, so many people have never even tried not doing a blinker. Now, a blinker, just real quick, it's when you hold your vape pen down. If you have a button push one, you pull all the way 8 to 10 seconds until it flashes. Batteries will have their own auto off feature. They don't want the device to overheat. But it's kind of surprising because a lot of the packaging, even the manufacturers that make the stuff, they don't really tell you not to do it in some cases. There's some, but there is so many vape pens out there. Like, all of them are made in China. They don't really care what they're putting on them when they send them over here. But bro, the vape pen company wants you to blast through your oil as inefficient as you can, bro, because you're just gonna go back and buy another cart. But I have a challenge for you. If you only do blinkers on your vape pen, just try not doing it. Just try for like a day to not hit a blinker. Hit it for 2 or 3 seconds at a time. Space that out. You can still get your 10-second hit or whatever you think is cool or impressive or whatever, but you can space it out over like 20, 30 seconds and still get that larger hit instead of just holding your battery down and ramping up that temperature. Just pulse the battery out. Hold it for a few seconds, let it go for a few seconds. Hold it for a few seconds, let it go for a few seconds. The longer you hold it consistently, the hotter and hotter that the pen gets, so it just starts burning the oil. It makes your pen taste terrible. Like, one blinker on your pen can ruin it. Even if you have a glass cart, even if you have a ceramic cart, doing really, really hot hits consistently on your pen is going to ruin the flavor. Now, I kind of want to relate this to when I first got into dabbing, and a lot of people do use honey straws or nectar collectors. I used to have a nice glass honey straw, titanium tip. I would torch that thing until it got super red hot, back in the day when glowies were the way. And I would just dunk it in a big container of dabs that I had. I'd put a gram or two in a giant container and I would just dunk my straw in there. And I would get like a nice burst of a hit. It would really only hold enough heat to give me like a 10 or 15 second hit. Similar to a pen. Honey straws aren't that great. They don't have a lot of surface area to vaporize your concentrate. So you can't really get a great dab on it, especially like a big low temp dab. But like, that's the mindset behind vape pens, is I'm just gonna get a short, hot burst of a hit. And when you're only doing short, hot bursts of your hits, you're blasting through your oil. And it's also affecting the taste because, you know, I would just have my whole gram. I wasn't breaking off a little bit of a dab and hitting my honey straw to it. I was just sticking the tip of the honey straw right in the gram or so of concentrate, and it would just like melt up some of it. I wouldn't vaporize all of it, but any part that I like melted or I heated up and didn't actually vaporize, when I would go back in to dab it, it just wouldn't taste as good. Terpenes have a lower boiling point and they kind of vape off first. So I felt like I was just tarnishing the flavor of my dabs every time I'd stick the straw in there. So I started to break off little pieces of it and would dab it separate. And I was able to enjoy the flavor more, but it was still like very minor compared to getting an actual quartz banger that was able to hold the heat for longer than like 10 or 15 seconds. When you have a nice nail that can hold a good low temperature, that can give you a nice low temp dab for a longer period of time, you're like, oh my God, what am I doing with these short, hot burst hits? Now, what's funny is that people think that blinkers are hard or they're a challenge. It's like a high school peer pressure thing. thing like, bro, you gotta hold it until it blinks or whatever. Bro, imagine thinking a 10-second hit of distillate is a challenge, bro. Some pens are only 8 seconds. Imagine thinking an 8 or a 10-second hit of distillate that's really hot is a challenge or somewhat impressive. Bro, imagine thinking that that's a challenge or impressive. I've done multiple 1 gram dabs. I've done the 1 gram flower bowls. I've done huge, disgusting yellow smoke gravity bong hits. I've taken 5 pens back in the day and done 5 or 6 blinkers on them back to back without exhaling. That's still not that much. 5 pens, 5 blinkers in a row is nowhere near a 1 gram dab where you're inhaling vapor for like 4 or 5 minutes. I think there's a video of me, I might have to repost this somewhere, but I do a 1 gram dab at a super low temperature and it's literally 5+ minutes of me inhaling. And people think blinkers are a challenge. It's almost more challenging to not do a blinker on your pen. Like, the amount of people that are only doing blinkers on their pen, every high school bathroom is filled with Mario Kart smokers. Like, come on, bro, you gotta do a blinker or we're gonna make fun of you. It's kind of wild. People have ended up in the hospital from doing too many blinkers on their pen. It's literally like a dumb way to do it. But I just wanted to talk about how bad it is for your cart. It literally ruins your cart. Imagine getting like a bag of flour, you get a bag of weed, and you just like throw it in the mud and then you smoke it. Like, that's what doing a blinker is. You're making it worse. I recently saw this video the other day, like the proper way to pour a Guinness, and this guy just takes the Guinness can. He's doing some cool stuff with it. He like flips it upside down and then right side up, and he's like, you gotta bless your beer. And he pours it, and he's like waiting, and he's waiting for the beer to settle. It's like a whole process. There's like steps involved. It reminded me of dabbing. I was like, okay, you know, you got to look for certain things. There's a little bit of a finesse in here. You don't just go right into it. Well, a blinker kid is just going to snatch that can of Guinness out of his hand, look for the closest rusty keys they can find, stab it into the side, and shotgun it, bro. Like, that's what doing a blinker is like. So if you're smarter than your average 5th grader and don't do blinkers, come get high with me on Twitch. I go live after 9 p.m. Eastern for a smoke sesh. And if you want to hear 5 cool facts about stoners, check out this video right here. There's some pretty dang old cool facts in there. Have a lit day, my dudes.